The Berlin Open already felt different before Alex Eala ever stepped onto the court. The air around the Steffi Graf Stadium carried that unmistakable electricity that only appears when a tournament senses something bigger than tennis unfolding in real time. The grass was immaculate. The stand shimmered beneath the Berlin summer light. Philippine flags stretched across sections of the crowd like waves rolling through the arena. And somewhere inside that noise, thousands of voices prepared to unleash the chant that had become inseparable from her eyes. Laban.
Fight.
Alex Eala walked onto center court carrying more than a racket. She carried expectation. Just days earlier, critics had started whispering again. The same old questions. The same doubts that had followed her for years. Was the momentum fading? Had the dream already peaked? Her crushing loss to Eva Liss at Queen's Club, a brutal 6-2 defeat, had reignited every concern surrounding the 21-year-old Filipino star. Tennis can be merciless that way. One bad afternoon, and the world suddenly acts as if everything that came before it never happened. But Alex had heard doubts her entire life. And now, standing across the net from her, was a woman playing the best grass-court tennis of her career. Donna Vekic. Fresh off an improbable Queen's Club title run. A lucky loser turned champion. A veteran suddenly reborn. The Croatian had entered Queen's without expectations, only to leave holding the biggest trophy of her recent career after defeating Emma Raducanu in the final. Her confidence was surging. Her ranking had exploded upward. Analysts believed she was finally rediscovering the form that once made her one of the most feared shotmakers on tour. And yet there was one problem. Alex Eala had already beaten her twice. The first meeting in Auckland had turned into a 3-set war. Vekic took the opening set and looked fully in control before Alex slowly dismantled the match point by point, eventually escaping with a gritty comeback victory. 1 week later, they met again, and Alex beat her again. Cleaner, sharper, more convincing. That history lingered over Berlin like a shadow Vekic could never fully escape. Still, nobody expected what happened next. Because from the opening game, this wasn't a battle. It was an execution. Alex looked transformed. Her movement across the grass seemed almost weightless. Every left-handed angle bent the court in impossible directions. Every return landed deep. Every rally ended with Vekic scrambling, guessing, reacting half a second too late. The Croatian tried changing pace. Didn't matter. She attacked the net. Didn't matter. She aimed for shorter rallies. Didn't matter. Alex Eala was everywhere. The first set disappeared in under half an hour. 6-2. The second set somehow looked even worse for Vekic because now the confidence draining from her body had become visible. Her shoulders tightened. Her footwork slowed. Meanwhile, Alex looked frighteningly calm, almost detached, as if she had already seen this result hours earlier in her mind. And when the final backhand winner painted the sideline, the stadium exploded. 6-2, 6-3. Statement made. 3 matches against Donna Vekic. 3 wins. But high above center court, hidden behind the tinted glass of the VIP suite, another story had quietly begun unfolding. Because someone extraordinary had been watching every second. At first, nobody noticed him. The private box at the Steffi Graf Stadium usually remained empty during early round matches. Those suites were reserved for royalty, billionaires, diplomats, and global figures whose presence alone could alter the atmosphere of an event. Then movement appeared behind the glass. A silhouette. A familiar face. Phones started lifting toward the suite. Whispers spread through the crowd in waves. Tournament officials glanced upward. Security teams suddenly became more alert. And within minutes, confirmation arrived. Bill Gates was in the building. Not at Wimbledon. Not at the US Open. Not at a charity exhibition. A WTA 500 event in Berlin. And somehow, incredibly, he was there watching Alex Eala. The reaction inside the stadium shifted instantly. Because this wasn't random. Bill Gates had attended major tennis events before. He loved the sport. He had played countless charity matches alongside Roger Federer, helping raise millions for educational programs around the world. Tennis was one of the few passions he openly discussed with genuine excitement. But this felt different. He wasn't casually attending. He was focused, watching, studying. And throughout Alex's dismantling of Donna Vekic, Gates barely looked away from the court. Those close enough to observe him noticed something unusual. He wasn't reacting like a celebrity spectator. He looked invested, interested, almost fascinated. Then came the moment that changed everything. As Alex walked off court following her victory, Gates stood and applauded. Not politely, deliberately, purposefully. The applause of someone acknowledging excellence. And suddenly the tournament wasn't just talking about Alex Eala defeating Donna Vekic anymore. Now people wanted to know why one of the richest and most influential people on Earth had specifically shown up to watch her. The answer came hours later, inside a private suite overlooking center court. The room itself was quiet, elegant, insulated from the chaos outside. Through the massive windows, the grounds crew prepared the stadium for the next match, while fans still lingered below waving Philippine flags and chanting Alex's name. But inside that suite, the atmosphere felt entirely different. Alex Eala sat across from Bill Gates. Just the two of them. No cameras. No press conference. No scripted sponsorship reveal. A private conversation. And for the first time all day, Alex looked nervous. Not because she was intimidated, because she genuinely didn't understand why this was happening. Bill Gates leaned forward slightly, hands folded. "I've been following your story," he said calmly. "Not just your tennis. Your story." Those words landed differently, because athletes here praise constantly. The compliments about forehands, serves, rankings, potential. But this wasn't about tennis. This was about who she was becoming. Gates talked about Miami, about Birmingham, about the waiver incident where Alex refused to withdraw despite warnings and still fought her way through the tournament. He spoke about resilience the way only someone who had spent decades overcoming impossible odds could. "When I started Microsoft," he told her, "people said it would fail. When I started the foundation, people said philanthropy on that scale couldn't work. And when I first played tennis publicly with Roger Federer, people thought I'd embarrass myself." He smiled slightly. The people who change the world are usually the same people who refuse to accept limits placed on them by others. Alex stayed silent, listening carefully, because suddenly this conversation felt much bigger than tennis rankings or tournament draws. Then Gates said something she would later replay in her mind over and over again. "You remind me of that." The room went quiet. Outside, Berlin continued buzzing. Inside, Alex Eala sat frozen. Not because of the fame sitting across from her, because of what he was actually saying. For years, she had fought for recognition. Fought against assumptions. Against limitations. Against the subtle skepticism constantly directed toward athletes from countries not traditionally associated with elite tennis success. And now one of the most powerful men alive was telling her he saw something different. Not just talent. Impact. Potential. Legacy. Then Gates reached into his jacket and removed a folder. Small. Simple. Unexpected. "The Gates Foundation runs an Emerging Leaders Initiative," he explained. "We work with athletes, scientists, entrepreneurs, people building influence beyond their profession." He placed the folder on the table. "I'd like to nominate you." Alex stared at it. For a moment, words abandoned her completely. Because this wasn't sponsorship money. This wasn't marketing. This wasn't a publicity stunt. This was recognition. Validation. A signal that her journey had started reaching beyond tennis itself. "I don't know what to say," she finally whispered. Gates smiled. "You don't have to say anything. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep fighting. Keep inspiring. Keep making people watch." The meeting lasted just over an hour. But by the time Alex walked out of that suite, something fundamental had changed. Not externally, internally. Because sometimes the most powerful thing someone can give you is an opportunity. It's perspective. And Bill Gates had just handed her exactly that. News of the meeting leaked almost immediately. By evening, social media exploded. #GatesMeetsEala began trending globally. Fans in Manila celebrated as if she had already won the tournament itself. Tennis analysts scrambled to understand why Bill Gates had chosen this specific event, this specific player, this specific moment. But the answer became increasingly obvious. Alex Eala represented something modern sports desperately crave: authenticity. She wasn't manufactured, wasn't scripted, wasn't carefully polished into corporate perfection. She fought openly, lost openly, believed openly, and perhaps most importantly, she carried millions of people with her every time she stepped on court. Bill Gates understood influence better than almost anyone alive. And somewhere during that Berlin afternoon, watching Alex dismantle Donna Vekic with fearless precision while an entire nation roared behind her, he recognized something impossible to ignore. Not just a rising athlete, a movement. But tennis doesn't pause for emotion. The next challenge was already waiting. Elena Rybakina, world number 2, Australian Open champion, one of the most dangerous grass court players on earth. Just weeks earlier in Rome, Rybakina had defeated Alex in straight sets. Now Berlin offered revenge. And suddenly the matchup felt bigger than rankings. Because now the entire tennis world was watching differently, not wondering whether Alex belonged, wondering how far she could go. Inside her hotel room later that night, long after the cameras disappeared and the headlines continued spreading across social media, Alex finally allowed herself one quiet moment alone. The folder still sat beside her, untouched. She looked at it again, then looked out the window toward the Berlin skyline glowing against the night. A few years earlier, she had simply dreamed about making it onto the WTA tour. Now, one of the most powerful philanthropists alive believed she could help change the world beyond it. That realization felt heavier than any trophy, and perhaps more dangerous too. Because once people start believing in you at that level, the expectations never shrink again. They only grow. Still, if there was one thing Alex Eala had proven repeatedly, it was this: pressure never scared her as much as limits did. And she had spent her entire career breaking those. One by one, the Berlin Open continued. Wimbledon loomed closer. The rankings battle intensified. Every point now carried massive consequences. But regardless of what happened next, something irreversible had already taken place inside that private suite overlooking center court. Alex Eala stopped being viewed as merely a promising tennis player. She became something larger, a symbol, a force, a story powerful enough to pull the attention of billionaires, nations, fans, and the entire tennis establishment toward one 21-year-old Filipina standing fearlessly on grass courts thousands of miles from home. And somewhere deep inside Berlin that night, while Philippine flags still waved outside train stations and fans replayed her victory over Donna Vekic on their phones again and again, Alex prepared for the next fight. Because the next match was already waiting. And now the whole world was watching.